going on, everybody? I'm live. I know you guys are doing it.
Hey,
No? Can't hear
yeah.
me? There we go. My bad. I did.
There
Sorry
we
for
go.
the issues there at the start, but I know you guys are probably tired of seeing us, right, Darrell? We've been live Friday, Saturday, now we're live today. But if we have one member of Crossroads Sports, we got to have the other one on as well. So thank you to Brandon Reed for joining us yesterday. But we got JB in the building today. JB, it's great to have you. We're going to talk a lot of NBA today. I know you got some things that you're going to throw my way, so I'm happy to get into it today. Don't forget, folks, we are sponsored by Matt Gaddis at State Farm, as well as Wired to the Nine. So if you need any low voltage help, make sure to check in with Wired to the Nines. Fellas, it's going to be a great episode. Darrell, I'll give you a chance to kind of kick us off here and kind of introduce JB.
Hey, 3 days in a row, 100% solid. There's been a lot of chatter in our text group and back and forth, which is fun for me. Introduced my guy Jonathan Birdsong from the East Side, another East Sider all day long and twice on Sunday. So welcome to the crib, man. How you doing today?
Doing just fine, man. Ready to talk, you know what I'm saying? As we are on a somewhat of a football pause, college football pause. I know the NFL is going to be a buzz today and whatnot. Ready to talk some hoops, man, whether it's collegiately or NBA. Or yeah, shoot, we can go international too if you want to. but like now, man. Yeah, we on a you know what I'm saying? I wake up early, as y'all know. You know what I'm saying? And
I saw that this morning.
What I don't
vampire.
I try to be, you know what I'm saying, authentic, you know what I'm saying, in the sports that I kind of cover. So if it's a game I didn't watch, then you know what I'm saying, don't come on to nobody's podcast or show or even your own talking out your ass, you know what I'm saying? Sorry, I know it's Sunday, but you know what I'm saying, talking out your ear about something that you don't necessarily know about. So I try to catch up on some of the things, you know what I mean, and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I know there's still some kind of conversations about CFP, Notre Dame being left out, you know what I'm saying, whatever. I mean, I got my own personal opinions about those things as well, but like, no, man, as we are on, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, like I said, the CFP kind of kicks back up next Saturday, Friday, or so. So, like, man, we're on pause, man. It's a basketball world, man, and like I said, I'm here to kind of, you know what I'm saying, chime in about it, man, so here we are.
It's good to have you on. I know you've got, I don't know how much you've gotten to talk hoops on Crossroads, but you know, I saw last Sunday you were like, man, I gotta come on the noon show. I gotta talk to Isaiah about some things. So I'm curious to see what we're gonna get into today. Usually Darrell starts us off, but JB, I will let you start us off. Where do you want to hit? Where do you want to hit?
As far as the NBA is concerned, just I don't know. There's also, you know what I'm saying, here recently there's been more chatter, I think, about where trades and whatnot, and not necessarily on what teams are kind of winning. You know what I mean? Until like last night, the Thunder hadn't lost a game, right? And I know that's boring. That's boring to the worldwide leader, and even you know what I'm saying, the team, the former TNT show is kind of boring to them to kind of talk about how good Oklahoma Thunder, how good they are. You know what I'm saying? But like, hey, man, it looks like they got it on repeat. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. They lost last night. Wemby's out there. I'm almost. It's not discussed level yet. It's almost, you know what I'm saying? Okay, Wemby, but you've been gone. Like, don't start pointing and finger pointing all this other thing. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all gotta. Again, I don't want to take away from the win from the Spurs, but like, dude, you've been sitting on the sidelines. You've been dealing with medical issues and whatnot. And I get it. He got a good big play against Caruso or whatever. But like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? But I think, you know what I'm saying, the NBA, it's, you know what I'm saying, the last couple of weeks has been more talking about, oh man, how can the Dallas Mavericks fix the problem of trading out Anthony Davis, or how can the Atlanta Hawks, you know what I'm saying, fix whatever problems of they have with Trae Young or whatever, man. But like that, and it's been less on the winning or the winning teams, man. Detroit's been a winning, you know what I'm saying, winning team. Like I said, the Spurs, the Spurs have won games without Wemby, you know what I'm saying, put together wins here and there. Lest we forget, you know what I'm saying, LeBron. And then I get it, I'm not necessarily thinking they should be in a panic mode, but like they've won some games, some high level games, and you know what I'm saying, I'm sure we get into comments of Rich Paul as well. But like, nah, man, I think the last couple of weeks the NBA they've been less focused on the winning. Oh, he got a leg. They've been less focused on the winning and more focused on like where these some of these big name players might end up at.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it yesterday. The trade deadline is going to be interesting. You know, the last couple trade deadlines have been exciting. You know, obviously with De'Aaron getting moved to the Spurs last year, I believe the year before that, KD got traded to the Suns. So we've seen, or now that was probably 2 years ago, but the trade deadline has only become more impactful the last couple of seasons. Darrell, I do want to give you a chance to speak. I think Anthony Davis is probably in the top 3 of guys that I could see getting traded. But like I said, and I think we've already talked about this, I think the number one destination for him is obviously Chicago. And obviously, I read you that report about how they view Giddey as their Halliburton and how they want to build. They need to find him his Siakam, if that makes sense. We read that report. I believe it was last Monday or 2 Mondays ago. What you Mavericks should keep Anthony Davis, though, Darrell, right? And wait till Kyrie.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think they're going to trade him at all. Why? You know, with all the garbage they went through in acquiring Anthony Davis, all the backbiting from their fans, laughing stock in the NBA, quote unquote, because they gave away Luka. I think there's no way you trade away Anthony Davis, who is an ultra talented player. Yeah, you know, it was a tough situation. He's been hurt, but when he's right, you get Kyrie back, and unfortunately, Lively's out for the season. That's the other thing. Injuries be damned, right? Lively's out for the season, which means obviously Gafford is going to be leaned on a lot more. But you've got the young rookie Cooper Flag, who's continuing to get better and better and better. He came under as much scrutiny as LeBron James did when he came in as a rookie. I'm not saying he's LeBron. I'm not saying this. I'm talking about scrutiny. He reclassified. He's supposed to be a freshman in college this year. He reclassified, and all he's done was be the number 1 pick in Dallas. Started off really, kind of rough because they had him playing lead guard, which I think is not the place he should be playing. But he's come along. So I know that Anthony Davis is from Chicago, but I think if Dallas is serious about having their players and doing something with Cooper Flag, you absolutely hold on to Anthony Davis unless you get some type of a mint from Chicago. It can't be an even swap. It can't be an even trade for Dallas.
I don't think it can be an even trade because of his contract. Because dude, they're gonna have to eat some of this contract, man. He makes like last year's contract, and he doesn't want to stop playing. He kind of wants to commit to playing like until 37 years old. He's kind of told back channels, man. So he's looking for a new contract. I think this one's up after this year.
Yeah. So that's gonna be in that 50 range, right?
Man, he's making $68 million in the last year's contract. $68 million.
I was thinking 48, 68. All this time I was thinking 48.
No, man, $68 million, man. So that probably took the Pacers out a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? I remember the Pacers kind of thinking about bringing Anthony Davis in. That probably took it out the Pacers a long time ago. I think what DK kind of poses, man, is absolutely, that's fair, man. What kind of weather out the storm. Pacers are kind of going to weather out the storm too. I know they kind of got a conversation about Zubac. Zubac's on a pretty good deal. Zubac's still under 30. But like, what does that look like? It's a team tear up if you bring a guy like Zubac in. It's somewhat of a team tear up if you bring like Anthony Davis in for Chicago Bulls. And I get it. Yeah. Everybody falls up. They fall in love with the Euro guys because they're so skilled and they can stretch the floor. But then, damn, none of them can block shots. None of them.
And defend, right?
Yeah. Yep. Well, in NBA, man, don't get me started, DK. I'm just gonna let you be grumpy old man to this morning.
No, we got 30 minutes. We can do this. I know where you want to go.
The NBA level, what they want out of big man is kind of sometimes unfair. Just a little bit. As they want a big man to defend in space and all this other crap, but then the big man doesn't get opportunities to do what the big man is his strengths are, right? So, but so like you want Ole center, so like they so obviously Vujovic is kind of on the blocks or whatever as well. You know what I mean? Shoot 4 weeks ago, he was out there winning game winners for him against Portland. You know what I'm saying? But but like that would be kind of the switch, man. But the Bulls, how desperate are they? Do they want to get back into the playoffs? You know what I'm saying? Are they that desperate? You know what I'm saying? They started out hot. Now they kind of cooled off. Do they really want to, you know what I'm saying, kind of do a team tear up? That's what it's going to kind of be to breathe. There's still not going to be, I don't think, fair market value for what they what they should have asked for in the Luka Doncic trade.
Yeah.
But I would, again, team tear up plus you're going to have to commit to Anthony Davis long term.
4 years probably, right? 4 years, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think with the Bulls, I mean, they're 10-14. There's still plenty of chances for them to get back into the playoffs right now. Right now, they're outside of the play-in. They're one game outside of the play-in with Milwaukee, but we're so early in the year that doesn't really matter. I think if AD goes anywhere at Chicago, if anybody tries to get AD, I think there's other teams that are viable to get him. I'm just curious to see how it'll all shake out because obviously AD is not the only person that is in these type of talks. Obviously we've mentioned Zion on the show before. We've mentioned Ja. We've mentioned LaMelo. We've mentioned all these names. But JB, I'll ask you, out of all the names that you're hearing, which one entices you the most when it comes to the trade deadline?
Unless the Clippers just kind of want to just get away from all, but like then whoever they trade for, it's going to be still somewhat of a media like mess. You know what I'm saying? But there are organizations that's kind of historically been able to deal with mess, man. Zion Williamson, Joe Dumars don't want that around no more. I guarantee. I mean, it's not content. He's not going to tear the kid down, but he don't want that around no more. So that would be the one. I think there's a repairable. Even though he needs to put a muzzle on. I know it's terrible for a black man to say, but another black man, sorry y'all, but like he needs to put a muzzle on Ja Morant. And kind of understand like you're in a unique. I'll give you that quote from Trading Day. You're in a unique position, son. And like the best place for Ja Morant is in Memphis. I spin the wheel face. You know what I'm saying? Look around the NBA map, and the best place. Like man, why would Ja Morant want to go to Sacramento? They're talking about the fans are talking about sell the team. You know what I mean? Again. You know what I'm saying? So there's no stability there for Ja. You know what I mean? For Ja Morant. Yeah, you're gonna play, you're gonna get to play or whatever, but there's no stability there as the organization. This is also a team that traded Halliburton. This is also a team that traded De'Aaron Fox. It's also a team that, you know what I'm saying, like what they also try to do, they signed
Marcus Cousins.
Yeah, well, that's bad. That's something that you would think they can recover from, but like bag NBA contracts with technically with Westbrook and the little homie from I got my God, Schroeder
from UCLA.
You know what I'm saying? Because once you sign Westbrook, you didn't need Schroeder. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you gave Schroeder more money, so Ja Morant can kind of like pout. But he should kind of take a look in the mirror and be like, hey, man, the best place for me is in Memphis. I get it. Maybe Zach Edey is out right now. I'm being reevaluated. They might I get it. They're a year away from reevaluation anyway, being serious contenders anyway. So, I don't see Orlando doing any type of team tear for anybody. You know what I'm saying? Even though you know what I mean. But so if you ask me about any of those names, it would probably be Zion Williams.
Hey, JB, we were talking yesterday. We were talking about Giannis came up, and I've been steadfast on Atlanta, right? Isaiah's been steadfast on the East, and I think Brandon had mentioned even possibly Orlando. But you'd have to get rid of the better Wagner, right? If you're gonna bring Giannis in, that's a chemistry deal because I think those guys like each other, right? So what do you think about Giannis?
If we was playing NBA 2K, man, everybody y'all said Giannis would be there next day. He already kind of played his hand, man. He's not. I mean, he's black, but he's not from America, man. So he probably don't know how to play spades or poker properly, man. You're not supposed to tell your hand. He's already told his hand. He already told him he want to play for the Knicks. He's already cool with playing for Mike Brown. So they just got to figure out what the team tear up looks like. Not this season, probably in the off season.
It would have to be.
He's already said where he wants to go. You want to go play for Mike? I ain't got nothing against Mike Brown. Mike Brown has some time and tenure around this league with Cleveland and with the Lakers and with what I'm saying. With
lead
Spurs
assistant here. Lead assistant here.
Assistant here, man. I think players sometimes get tone deaf with Mike Brown and like whatever he was kind of preaching Like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe, I don't know. I feel like there's some Brian Kelly in him, D-Kai. Like, if he goes in there and pay table, like, dude,
You
you
think
take table
so?
time with these dudes. Take table. So, like, that's where he wants to go. They just got to figure out what kind of team tariff they're looking at to get him.
It'd have to include Cat. I said it would have to include Cat, right? Because you're talking contract, because this isn't the 80s NBA where you can just trade for whatever. You're talking about evenly. So Cat is their highest paid player. There's no way they do anything with Brunson. So it would be a combination of Cat and maybe a couple of picks, or maybe a couple of players and a pick is what I would be thinking, like that.
Right.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that. I think the Knicks could be an option, but I'm kind of with Darrell. I think Atlanta has the best assets to get this done. And I'll say it again. Oh, we got some comments. My apologies. Oh, it's Brandon Reeve. That's who it is.
He's at the airport. He's at my spot too.
Don't get him started on Clippers and James Harden. Listening from 40,000 feet in the air, gents. All right.
Well, nothing but love.
He's the one who brought it up. I didn't. Nobody even mentioned James Harden. He's the one who brought it up.
Hey, Brandon was trying to stir the pot, man. That's all he's trying to.
I gotta give a shout out to Brandon. We did a 2-hour stream yesterday, waiting out the storm. We did a live stream yesterday. We did 1 hour NFL, 1 hour NBA, and then I think the last 15 minutes we were talking about John Cena. So shout out to Brandon for joining us on that stream. But that's what I was saying, right? I think Atlanta has the most assets, and I said that yesterday. Trae Young to Milwaukee, I think, makes a lot of sense for Milwaukee. You know, that way you've got a star that can sell tickets in the building. Trae Young can still keep that team, I'll say, in the play-in / playoffs, right? I mean, he's doing that in Atlanta right now with what I would say is a better roster around him than what Giannis has in Milwaukee right now. So I think for Trae Young, if Milwaukee can build, and Darrell, we've talked about this, if they can get a lot of defensive guys around him, I think that's where Trae Young can strive the best. I never agreed with Atlanta. I've never agreed with Atlanta putting more offensive firepower around him. They got DeJounte Murray. They got Bogdanovic. They bring in these offensive weapons when Trae Young is one of the best offensive weapons. I get you still need shooters, and I get that, but you need your starting five at best needs to be mostly defensive guys. Like, I thought Clint Capella, when they brought him in, was a great addition because of his defensive abilities, but they didn't surround the 3 and the 4 and the 2 spot with defensive guys. They were somewhat offensive guys.
You know, I think you got to do that with Trae Young, right? You know, he's an undersized shoot first point guard. Yeah, guys going to get assists because that's just, you know, the driving kicks. But with that said, you know, the reason why I like Atlanta is because, one, you know, that's a name coming down to Atlanta. And then obviously I think Trae Young would have to flip to Milwaukee. I think name for name, you know, Giannis obviously is a bigger name, but I think Atlanta needs that, right? I think they had, 7,000 live bodies in their last game when they had, who was that freaked out on the kid when he asked him, "Hey, are you an NBA player?" Y'all seen that video? The Atlanta player, he freaked out on the kid because the kid said, "Are you an NBA player?" while you're on the bench. And he says something about, "Yeah, I'm here with this uniform on, and you know, you all need the security to back you up," or something. It was just crazy. It was just typical Atlanta Hawks fodder, man. So I think Giannis would be a good fit down there. And I mean, it's still a place where NBA careers go to die. He's not going to bring him a title, but if you just want to move a guy just to move a guy, move him. Move him to Atlanta.
Yeah. I mean, I think Giannis to Atlanta makes a lot of sense. I think Miami's another destination for him, right? As I've already said, I don't want him out west. Everyone has been saying the Spurs, which, yes, Spurs are probably in the mix for him. I heard yesterday Minnesota, but I don't think Minnesota's going to move that roster around to get him. That one's a little too much. I don't think all Minnesota needs to do, Darrell, and we've talked about this, is get a point guard. They've got to find a point guard that isn't 45 years old. No offense to Mike Conley.
No, but see, here's the thing. We've been talking about Dillingham for 2 years. I keep telling you, he's not the guy people think he is. Because if he was, Conley wouldn't be starting. Conley wouldn't be playing, you know, significant minutes.
Well, we gotta remember, man. All these kids, when they make the jump, they would jump. They was McDonald's All-Americans, and they played 1 year at Kentucky. I'm talking about Dillingham.
Yeah.
And now again, Kid has different expectations than what a playoff team has. That's probably why there's been so much frustration for years out of Jonathan Kuminga. You know what I'm saying? The Golden State Warriors is in championship mode, and he's thinking, how can I get to be rookie of the year? Well, you can't, because like we need you standing in the corner, not try to dominate,
literally
this game. I think Dillingham probably gets another chance on a different team. His name has kind of been out there. You're gonna have to get a little bit more together to get Trae Young to Minnesota. But then you try to put together a super team, which is not necessarily what Minnesota's kind of want to do. They would at one point they tried to share contracts. Just last year trying to share contracts, and I was kind of shocked that they kept Nas Reed and Rudy Gobert, even with them kind of fizzling in the playoffs last year. So I think more Toronto potentially. With Trae Young, man. They probably ain't necessarily happy all together in there on the Duke homie, man. I love RJ's game, man, but it ain't super popped or whatever.
He's not gonna stick out. He's gonna be who he is, right?
It's solid. Don't get twisted, man. They want to do. Hey, if the Pacers want to do RJ for Jarris Walker and some picks, you know what I'm saying? Let's go. That's kind of what the Pacers kind of want out. That's kind of what we want out of RJ. You know what I'm saying? Jarris Walker, to be honest with you, man, a triple kind of threat kind of guy. But like, nah, man, I could see Trae Young going to Toronto.
Sure. But I think our guy here would be in that. Barrett would be in that trade, though. I think he would be definitely the player that would be going. To Atlanta.
Him or Quickly.
I think it'd be him, because Quickly is a nice. Well, they just signed him to that deal too. That's you go back again. You gotta look at. You can say names, but now it's wait a minute. Let's look at the contracts, because that's what's going to drive.
That's what moves. And then they'll. So like a lot of these teams also are trying to get back into. I get it, man. I do. I love it. I'm gonna tell you, if you want to go crazy, we can, man. I love the 2026 draft. I'm on it every day. Alabama, sorry, D-Cot, to bring it up. From last night, man, they got dominated Arizona. Dude, did you see what Coda Pete did?
I saw the whole game.
Okay, D-Cot, did you like Coda Pete? I told you about Coda Pete 4 or 5 weeks ago, man. The NBA analytics say Coda Pete is a pick 24. Are you serious?
That's insane.
I know.
Are you serious?
If you saw him last night, the second half.
Analytics. I'm not saying JB analytics. I'm not saying the NBA analytics got him going 20, 21, 22. That's the draft. The draft, the NBA draft, the 2026 draft is good. The 2027 draft is good too. I'm not saying it's this one though. The 2027 draft is because some of these guys is probably not going. So if you're saying Coda Pete, he gets his he's okay. Well, maybe not this year, because I mean they could be they manipulated too, and now I can get paid another year to go in college or whatever. So Coda Pete might sit. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but he might sit out the NBA draft. But
I don't know why,
like, no, man. The other teams are trying to get back into the draft. 2027, 2028. The Mavericks are trying to get back into the draft. You know what I'm saying, to kind of make up for whatever mistake. We know the Sacramento Kings are trying to get picks. Doesn't even matter. They'll trade Sabonis right now for 2, 3, 4 second rounders. You feel me? It is just like what you're going to return, expiring contract or not. But like, yeah, the contracts. That's the most important thing. Contracts got to match up.
We talked about this, right? Remember when the Pacers got back in the draft in the first round this year when they hoodwinked and people said, well, why would they do that? Why would they've been a good team? Why would they want to go back in? Because they understood, just like we talked about, this 26 draft is probably 20 to 25 really good players deep.
Really good.
And we're talking including European players as well.
And so four franchise guys. I'm not gonna I don't bet, that, but 4 franchise guys, and like D-Kai said, probably about 20 good guys. Like, wow.
Yeah, and that's deeper than, because usually when you're in the 20s, it's like, okay, this guy's a second round grade somewhere. But what I did like about Pete last night was he looked like an adult NBA player last night in the second half, right? Doing what he did, and I said this in our chat. There's no way Alabama, with that coach and the way they play, are going to ever win a game like that. They can't. It's impossible. You know
They
why?
didn't put no
Because
physical. Yeah.
it hurts them when they have to shoot a 2. Did you see that second half? They're up 2 at halftime, and it hurts them to shoot 2s. And you know, I'm glad because I had a nice little parlay on Indiana, Kentucky, and Alabama and Arizona. Now the two teams I like are Indiana and Alabama, but I took the other 2 teams, and I'm okay now this morning, right? But I'm telling you, Arizona has probably 3 NBA players on that team right now that played significant minutes last night. The center, you know what I liked about the center? Every time he got the ball in the post, he looked to ram it. He looked to ram it. He wasn't trying to be finesse, and he was trying to ram it because the Alabama players trying to come behind him and block it. I like the Arizona team. They've continued to get better and better. No wonder why Bryce James ain't going to see the floor this year. Hell, he might not see it next year, depending on who leaves. So he's going to have to get into the portal.
Right. You forget that he's man, don't get some of these second sons, man, like, you know what I mean? They're not going to be as great as your dad, man. It's okay.
Dude, man, I'm telling you, Arizona is a talented team. And what you saw last night is, and I understand we got Purdue here, but you talking about ultra talent. They got size and they got shooting, and they don't mind shooting.
This is a good field. I know. Look, we supposed to be talking. We didn't switch it from.
I know, but it was good stuff last night.
It's conflicted because, like, unfortunately, some of these guys are not going to necessarily get the chance to be all-time great college basketball players.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because the draw and the fan, you know what I'm saying, and the money or whatever, and the allure of the NBA. And that's not, and I'm not to wipe my feet on it, man. You know what I'm saying? But a guy like Cole Pete, you know what I'm saying? Again, if you telling me, dude, 10 years ago, he'd have been top 5, no doubt, no argument. But you know what I'm saying? When we got guys like Boozer Jr., who looks, man, oh my God, he looks like, you know what I'm saying, he's probably gonna catch his dad in year 2. You know what I'm saying, with the ability, you know what I'm saying, that he kind of shows out there. They got another kid, Duke got another kid, Isaiah Evans. Man, I get it, man. It looks kind of stuffed right now, but like, you know what I'm saying, he looks like another Brown. He kind of got those kind of analytics, but so like, nah, man, the future is bright when you think about some of these things.
What's your thoughts on DeBonsa and Peterson? Because obviously the top 3 in this draft, from what it looks like, is DeBonsa, Peterson, and Boozer.
Hey man, I told you a long time ago, AJ DeBonsa is worth 10 Al Harringtons. He's like 10 Al Harringtons.
I think he said 15 on the last call.
Yeah, he's like 10. He's like 10 Al Harringtons, man. I would hurry up. I don't believe in tanking for any team, but if you already know, you kind of in that lottery or whatever teams, man. I kind of watched this morning the story of Shaq and like how teams, you know what I'm saying, the top 3 teams was kind of like cross fingers that they was going to get to draft this fella, but the top 3 teams, bottom 3 NBA teams should be cross fingers that they take that by, you know what I'm saying, by February. You know what I'm saying? If you're in the bottom 3, man, you should be able to cross fingers, man, that you're going to be able to get the opportunity to draft him. That's how I feel about AJ.
I was just going to say, if you get any of those 3, right, because, you know, it's based off fit and need. I think Boozer is the best all-around player. I think Peterson is the best shooter.
I don't know, man. I like DeBonsa. He looks like he got an NBA floor game because, you know, everybody's got to be able to put the ball on the deck right in the NBA now.
Yeah.
And DeBonsa, man, he to JB's point, he looks like a better version of Al Harrington going into a Paul George, the way he could put the ball on the floor and get to the cut. I like his game, man. I like his game a lot, and he's unassuming.
I think Boozer, from what I've watched, I've gotten to watch both a good amount. It feels like Boozer is more all around better. But DeBonsa athletically is probably the best out of the 3, and that's no shame on Darrell. That's no shame on all 3 of them because they're all 3 athletic. Yeah. I think Peterson.
That's the league now. That's the league.
If you need shooting, Peterson's definitely the 3rd guy in this draft, but Peterson's going to be pretty good as well.
Peterson's going to be pretty good as well. Kansas is kind of holding him back. I don't like red flag players. If you can't play, I don't care. Play the game. I don't care. You worried about the NBA? You signed on to the Jayhawks. Yeah. You need to be playing.
Give it everything you got this year. You're everything
Yeah,
you
but
got this year.
technically, when I watch Kansas, man, they got a bunch. I mean, it's Fleury, and he ain't even on nobody's draft board. He's still gonna be. I think he's still gonna be an NBA player. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 2027. You know what I mean? But he's just not on nobody's lottery picks this year. But like, man, Kansas got a bunch of dudes that remind you of Malik Monk. You know what I'm saying? And all of them ain't Peterson, man. So, who the one kid I've been beating the drums for, man? If you get a deep look at Houston, is Christian Jr. And
I think he's been like the fourth guy.
Yeah, this kid is Miles Turner. You know what I'm saying? Ready? He's gonna be the next Miles Turner
with ferocity.
Oh yes, yeah. It plays a little bit. Yeah, it plays a little bit more ferocious, man. A great help side defender. You know what I'm saying? You got to play defense in Kevin Sampson's system. You know what I mean? I know that sounds cliche, but like, and you know what I'm saying? He's gonna be a one and done. Unfortunately, they ain't gonna get a chance to be a great college player, but like, yeah, that would be the guy. Stretch, got all the NBA analytics, man. Can play with his back to the basket. I get it. Miles Turner, what we've been asking for Miles Turner for years. Chris Nack Jr. That's who I would want. Not again. If I'm your number one through 5, I'm not picking Chris Nack Jr. I just want to make that clear. Okay, but if you tell me I'm picking 6 through 10. Then I would probably pick the stretch from Houston. I know, damn, we talking about NBA draft. Sorry.
No, it's all good.
That's what we do, man.
I pulled up a mock draft. Obviously Peterson, DeBonsa, and Boozer. I know Darrell likes to see that. I think we all do. And then you go down, Caleb Wilson from North Carolina is number 4. Nate Ahmet is another name that I've obviously done some research on as well. And then I think, but Koa Pete's right here at 7 to Charlotte.
Yeah. No.
Please no. Not when Ball is there. Please no. Listen,
you better refresh.
You
better hit refresh. You better check when that one got fouled out. You mentioned Caleb Wilson. Great. Dude, again, another guy that's probably not gonna get a chance to be a great man. He's got a good motor on him. I call him a black Tyler Hansborough. He's got a great motor on him, D-Kai. If he played 4 years at North Carolina, he would have accolades like Tyler Hansborough. Like, he would blow your mind.
But we know, right? This is it. One
lengthy,
and done. Look at those numbers.
Yeah, real lengthy. Defend, hit block shot with both hands. Just not a stretch guy. And that's probably why they got him a little bit out of the top 4, man. But like NBA scouts, analytics, and coaching says we'll wait on the shooting.
You know who they compare him to? We just mentioned him. Went to the Hawks. Our guy, the stretch.
Did you say Clint Capella?
Yeah, athletically wise, Capella's not a shooter either. Very up and down the court. I'm not saying he is him, but if you want to look at comparisons, I would compare him
early life. Yeah, that's who would Caleb Wilson be, early life Clint Capella. But so like, that's not. I mean, the way NBA run guys.
That's no knock.
Yeah, the way NBA run guys to death, man. Like, this dude not gonna be Andrew McDyess for you, man. You know what I'm saying? So
Dice, man.
Antonio McDyess and Andrew McDyess is somebody else. I'm conflicted with two different genres.
I mean, you look at the top of this draft, and I picks 1 through 8. All these
he'd be a good problem to have. Caleb Wilson would be a good problem to have. Yeah.
All these guys picks 1 through 8 have been talked about all year. Like Mikal Brown Jr., we haven't talked about him yet in Louisville. Man, I watched Louisville versus, was it Kentucky a couple weeks ago? Man, I mean,
what he did to Memphis last night he should be in jail for what he did to Memphis last night.
I mean, all these guys from pick 1 through 8 are just, I don't think any team is going to be disappointed with them. And I go back to watching Koa Pete on opening night. I mean, that right there, I was like, man, and I've known about Koa Pete for a while, high school and everything else. And to see him at the college level in that opening night game, that's all they could talk about. Obviously, DeBonsa, once that game came on, they started talking about him. But all they could talk about at the end of that Arizona, was it Florida and Arizona, I think? All they were talking about was Koa Pete and how good he looked. I think Pete is just as good as the guys up in the top 3. Same thing with Mikal Brown and Caleb Wilson. Obviously, DeBonsa, Boozer, and Peterson are still that top 3, but you got 3 guys that I think, if we're going to call the top 3 Hall of Famers, the guys underneath them could definitely be all-stars. right? All NBA.
That's what you want, right? If you're a guy, if you're a team picking in the top 14, you want to pick an all-star. Yep. You want to pick an all-star. That's what you want, right? And you know what I wanted to, because I know our time is a little shorter today, but JB, this is good stuff, man. And there's a lot of conversation I want to have about the first round upcoming. I've watched over the last couple of weeks. I've watched a hell of a lot more college basketball. Yesterday was all college basketball. I missed all of the WWE because of hoops, right? Because of Indiana, Kentucky, obviously Alabama, Arizona, Louisville, and Memphis. I couldn't take my eyes off of it, man. Yeah. So I'd like to parlay this into our 7 o'clock call. And I know we usually do the football recap, but there's nothing to recap other than a 5'7" Altalua Vega not winning the Heisman Trophy. So I would love to talk draft and NBA because this. Yeah, I'm down, man, for sure.
Hey, JB, obviously he's a little low here. This is pick 20, but this is another name I've heard, Darius Acuff Jr. At Arkansas, freshman. I've heard
we need to get Hog HQ on this one, Isaiah. I need to get with my man Dollar DP and see what he's got on Acuff.
Have you got to watch him yet, JB?
All the SEC teams, whether it's Florida, Alabama, Arkansas, they all got a wiggly, 6'8", 6'9" guy. You know what I'm saying? That you know what I'm saying? I think even Obi Toppin. I know that's not SEC, but yeah, and not Obi Toppin, the other Toppin, because they're not even related. But like they all got like a 6'8", 6'9" guy that can get it done, man. He's one of them. Sometimes he's one of these guys that, you know what I'm saying, shoots too many threes. You know what I mean? Because of the culture, you know what I'm saying, Calipari runs or whatever, man. But he wouldn't necessarily be a bad, not necessarily lottery. I couldn't necessarily put him in lottery contentions, but yeah, he wouldn't necessarily, you know what I'm saying. Everybody, all the NBA analysts, all they want is got 6'5" and better. That's it. And they teach all of them. They know, quote unquote, know how to dribble left with their left hand and right hand. So, you know.
I know you want to go to your draft. You've got your tankathon up.
No, man, we ain't got to. No. We got.
No. I got one more question for him.
We got to talk about the daggone Heisman, man.
JB, I don't know if you know about this yet, but we there is a crisis in the NBA. I don't know if you see the screen here. Oklahoma City is going to have a top pick in this year's draft. It could potentially, and not only that, if Utah's picks outside the top 8, they get another first-round pick. Are you concerned about the parity for the NBA if OKC gets another star? Because let's be frank, if the Bonsa, Boozer, whoever goes there, they're going to be developed correctly. I'm going to say it's 98% guaranteed that they would get developed in the right way.
This is like Red Auerbach's wet dream, Decot? Isn't this like Jerry West's wet dream? You know what I'm saying? Where you in years of manipulating, or okay, I'm not. Paul George didn't want to play for Oklahoma. Just lest we forget. Westbrook didn't want to have a Hall of Fame career in Oklahoma. Lest we forget. Who else didn't want to stay in Oklahoma? James Harden. You didn't want to. So like they just kind of reaping the benefits of all these guys that didn't want to stick around. And that's, you know what I'm saying, if I had to write a daggone essay on it, I'm kind of speaking on it. That, like there's nothing wrong with that. Oklahoma at some point is going to run into a cash problem because they are a small market, whatever, and like how are they going to be able to keep everybody?
You can't keep them all. You can't keep them.
So like, what's my homie? I love it because I wanted the Pacers to get little what's his name, Wallace, the kid, the 1 year guy from Kentucky, man, dude can clamp up some guys. You know what I mean? And he can provide a little offense. You pull him out of that, you pull him out of the Oklahoma system, you know what I'm saying? He probably has a little more offensive firepower. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he automatically becomes Victor Oladipo or anything like that. But like, no, man. So like, what's the problem with the system that they're running? Okay, now my veteran guy is I need to let him walk. Okay, see you later, Caruso. See you later, Wallace. Thank you for your service. It might even come down to a point where they see you later, the Williams brother. You know what I'm saying? See you later. You know what I'm saying? Because we got another we got, you know what I'm saying, Penny Hardaway, whatever, coming down the pipeline, man. So this is the NBA that we are in. So like, nah, man, the sky's not falling. I'm not saying more teams should be like that. They just kind of benefit from it. You know what I mean? From it, man. Pat Riley wish he was sitting in with all them picks. He wish he could do something with that.
It's one thing having the picks. It's another thing doing things with the picks. I referenced Boston after the KG and Paul Pierce trade to New Jersey Nets, right?
Oh,
they parlayed that into one title. Ooh, so let's not just crown OKC as the next dominant team for the next 10 years. But if there is going to be, and I've said this on every show, if there is going to be a dynasty in the NBA, I'd rather be, if it's not the Pacers, I'd rather be Oklahoma City and not any of the big market teams. I'd rather be that way. But this
Boston, they went to back-to-back. They went to two finals now, D-Kai. We can't say woo now.
Well, no, I'm talking about winning it though, right? Because if you remember all that capital Boston had, no, I'm talking Boston. All that capital they had, they had a lot of number one pick first round capital.
So if Jason Tatum was playing right now, you wouldn't think Boston would be winning the East, even though they jettisoned Holiday.
I don't know, man. They were getting beat. They were going to lose against the Knicks last year with him.
No way.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah, Boston. They were going to lose against the Knicks no matter what last year.
Yeah, Boston was
the Knicks had their number. I mean, again, we don't know for sure, but the way it was going in the first 4 games looked to me like the Knicks had their number.
The Celtics won and the Knicks 1 in 6, and they were handling them in Game 6. Boston
they were handling Game 1 and Game 2 because they had the big lead and they came back and won.
That's what I'm saying. They were up in the series already 3-2. And Game 6, New York was handling them in MSG. Now, I will admit, I was watching the game. Boston was starting to bring it back. And then obviously we know what happens with Tatum. He goes down. New York gets to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. But like I said for New York, for New York, it's their conference to lose. And we talked about this yesterday. Obviously, Detroit's going to be there. But when you're New York and this roster that you have, you've got to – this is your chance to win it because Boston's back next year. Indiana's back next year. And I'll tell you right now, I don't think they're better than those two teams. I think Boston will refix that roster. Anthony Simons is a 1-year rental. He's not going to be there next year. They're going to rebuild when Tatum gets back.
They're already third in the East, right? They're third in the East right now, man.
And they're third in the East, and that's my point. They're third in the East right now.
You're right. You're exactly right. They're third in the East because of my guy, Jaylen Brown, Mr. Robbing himself, robbing my foot, shooting 50% from the field and carrying the load.
Let's get back to – let's take 2 seconds, man. Let's take 2 seconds. We never really talked about Giannis. We did. I said trade him to New York for sure. That's where he wants to go. Okay. But if I was Boston, I would just say, hey, man, I would just have a little conversation. Just one little conversation. If you are about winning, Giannis, I get where New York, you got sold on Frank. Now, Giannis is black. I told you he's from a different country, though. So he's sold on somewhat of the American dream. So, you know what I'm saying? It's either for him to go to New York or Los Angeles. He don't want to deal with the Disney life, you know what I'm saying, or how Disney can pump up Alabama and the college football playoffs and all that, man. So, like, why go out there to Los Angeles Lakers, right? So he wants to go out there. You know, you like that one, didn't you, D-Cot? You like that little dig, didn't you? Right. But anyway, man, he wants to go to the Knicks, but, like, if you really want to win, the Knicks ain't won a daggone national championship. The Knicks ain't won an NBA championship, man, since the homie came out there with the fur coat.
Yeah.
Right? So if you really want to win and you want to be on one of the blue chippers, man, I bet you Brad already made the call.
It's worth a shot. Why would you not do it, right? Because you got a guy that's not happy. You've got some capital. It's not going to be named Brown or Tatum. I think everybody else is on the table, including Pritchard.
If I'm Milwaukee,
I bet you they call. I bet you they made the call.
If I'm Milwaukee and I'm not getting Jaylen Brown, I'm hanging up the phone.
But here's the thing, though, man. If Giannis says I'm leaving, at some point, this is the NBA. The players have the control. This isn't NFL.
I get it.
So if he says no, figure it out. Many players have done this. Paul George.
There's another guard. There's another forward they can give up. It's okay. Yeah. Boston will let somebody else figure it out.
Unless he says I want to go to Boston and that's it, it won't happen. At least I don't think so. If he gives them a number of options, I think Boston's at the bottom of the list. Because if I'm Milwaukee,
I don't think he gives them a number of options. I think he gives them one option, two at the most, and says figure it out.
Yeah, and if it's not
what's the better organization? What does the player want? I want to win. What's the better organization?
He got going to Boston.
Missoula's the better coach. Missoula's the better coach. They got the better player. I mean, Brown. They can still retain Brown. Again, there's other players. There's draft picks, man. Brad Stevens don't care about cares about draft picks, but
remember, you got to realize to that point, man. Milwaukee not holding the cards if Giannis says I want to go. They're not holding it. Again, I compare it to when Paul George in 16 said, figured out Pacers. So we can say, well, this will be the better fit. I remember a lot of the mock trades. He should go here. He should go here. No one mentioned OKC.
Nope.
No one. I'm just saying.
I don't think Boston's a bad idea. I just don't think if Milwaukee has their choice, which I get it, they probably won't. I either get Jaylen Brown or I don't. Those
you don't want picks. Robin. You don't want Robin. Remember, Jaylen Brown is just a Robin.
I'm saying, but when you're Milwaukee, you got to have something of value. I don't want Derek White. I don't want Peyton Pritchard, and I don't want first-round picks that are going to be.
His contract ends next year. His contract ends next year.
They said that's what they will get. You will get Derek Bird, number 3.
No, I'm not.
Peyton Pritchard.
And you'll get Pritchard. You'll get a couple of picks.
If I'm Milwaukee, I'd rather let him walk than trade him for Derek White and Peyton.
The NBA doesn't work that way.
You're not. The Milwaukee Bucks are not going to do what the Orlando Magic did and let Dwight Howard walk. That was dumb.
I'd rather walk.
Milwaukee. No one's coming to Milwaukee if you let Giannis's contract expire. You know what those players in the league gonna say? You get what you get, and you don't have a fit.
Because if you're telling me if they get stooped like that, where they don't get Jaylen Brown in return, that may be worse than the Giannis trade or the Luka trade. Because at least they got Anthony Davis. If they don't get Jaylen Brown out of that deal, it would be worse than the
expiring contract.
I think Boston and New York, and I really think it is between Atlanta and Detroit.
You said Simonson was going to be there. Do they want him too?
Yeah.
Do they want him too?
Simon, Pritchard.
Do they want him too?
Simon, Pritchard, and who
John Bagley's old bones? Sherman Douglas, old bones? What do you want?
Hey, you talk about old school references, John Bagley and Sherman Douglas in the same conversation. Hey, talk about two of the most unathletic point guards ever to live.
What do you want, man? Come on, man.
I don't think Boston's even in the running for him.
Hey, man,
listen.
Look at what Pat Riley doesn't have enough to offer. He doesn't have enough to offer. Okay, you have to swap out him and then Bam Adebayo. They don't want to swap. They don't want to do that. So he doesn't have enough to offer. Giannis ain't gonna never want to go to Charlotte, even though Charlotte might be on some of the up. He's not going to go there.
Charlotte's not an option, anyways.
Yeah, every team's an option.
I'm just looking at anything's an option. You got to look at the map. I'm looking at the map.
Every team's an option. There's some that are better than others, but every team's an option.
He would have to want to say, I'm gonna go down there because I like them shrimp legs and and chicken wings down there in Atlanta. I don't foresee that. That would be play like
Lou Williams would show him around. Lou Williams would show him around, JB.
I don't see that. He said I want to win. I want to win. The only champ again, I'm not saying you can't win. The ownership is kooky in New York. The ownership is kooky.
If he goes to New York, depending on what New York gives up, if he would go to New York, I think they would win the East without question. Barring injuries, obviously.
They're not winning championship. Bring back the old coach. Yeah. Bring back the old coach.
I said winning the East. Yeah, I didn't say win a title. I mean,
I'm not banking on that. Not when you got Pacers, Boston, and Detroit on your heels.
I'm talking about this year.
Okay, same. Okay, but I still don't think they'd win the East if they made that trade because they would probably give up Cat. They would give up Cat and probably something else. The Knicks are an organization that's going to give up more because it's New York and we can make it work. I would love it. Hey, listen, from a Pacer fan, hey, go ahead, Giannis. Go to New York. You ain't gonna win.
I think Atlanta, and the only reason I keep bringing up Atlanta, and I get what you guys are saying, it's about winning. Only reason I say Atlanta is they've got the assets. They can move Trae Young. They've got New Orleans.
And that's the place where careers go to die. So I would love to see Giannis go there the way he's been disrespectful. I would love to see him in Atlanta.
New Orleans pick is going to be in the top 5, more than likely.
Isaiah, the biggest trade that kind of dropped me was when they traded Minnesota traded Kevin Garnett to Boston. And I know there was a lot of friendships, you know what I'm saying, general managers that you could play, but what they got in return, like we couldn't me and Decock probably had to Google it, like what they got in return, what Minnesota got in return.
I don't remember at all.
Darrell, if you guys want to keep going, you can. I know you got
to bounce. We
can tap out, man. Other than that, man, shout out to the Heisman. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, BB, what we'll do tonight, I think we could do probably a 45-minute show. I want to hit Heisman, maybe put a bow on this deal here, and then hit a little bit of that college hoops, man, for sure.
Okay, all right, man.
Well, maybe I promise you next time we have you on, we can have an extended convo. We're doing a Christmas gift, a secret Christmas gift for the parents.
Oh man, do you think?
So something like that. So, but I promise you, we're gonna have you on again very, very soon. Hopefully, maybe when we're closer to the deadline, and we can get into it a little more because this was a good conversation. So, folks, that is going to do it. Just wanted to get on here, get a quick live stream done. We will see you guys tomorrow. I know 4 days in a row for our NFL recap, but that'll be it, folks. We'll see you guys tomorrow for more Game Time Live.